I'm 680 News senior business editor Mike Eppel. Barrick Gold wants to buy Newmont Mining out of Colorado for the creation of the world's biggest gold mining company. Newmont today, however, said no to Barrick's unsolicited $21 billion Canadian offer. Newmont saying it's better for shareholders if the company stuck to its original plan of getting together with Gold Corp of Vancouver and finding shareholder value there. Now, Newmont, for its part, offered a counter-proposal to Barrick and said that they could do a joint venture on properties in Nevada, where both companies have big mining operations. And that could save millions, if not billions of dollars in costs for both companies. So we'll see where this goes, as Barrick had said it would not be interested in raising its first offer for Newmont. Delays and more delays in the expansion of pipeline projects in Western Canada into the United States. Enbridge says that faced with regulatory issues in Minnesota, the expansion of its Line 3 pipeline will not be proceeding as soon as expected. They're pushing that timeline back by a full year, and Minnesota's governor could take this case to another level to challenge the previous regulatory ruling. The pipeline constraints, of course, have caused all sorts of problems for Canadian oil production and getting it to international markets. We did see Enbridge share price today fall by about 6%, whereas the two big railways, CP and CN, which may see more business shipping oil by rail, saw their share prices climb on Bay Street. Could the federal government be forced into intervening in a lawsuit against Big Tobacco? The Quebec Court of Appeals ruled against the big tobacco companies, Rothmans, Benson and Hedges, Imperial Tobacco, and Japan International Tobacco, in a $17 billion class action lawsuit brought by Quebec smokers. The companies say they're going to appeal this to the Supreme Court of Canada, but Philip Morris, the operator of Rothmans, Benson and Hedges, actually announced today its earnings would be hit by that Quebec court ruling. Nevertheless, the talk is if these companies were forced out of business in the Canadian market, that would lead to a wave of illicit cigarettes coming onto the market from the black market, and that could force the federal government's hand to try to stabilize things through a settlement, keep the tobacco companies actually in operation. And what will the Bank of Canada be doing on Wednesday when it comes to interest rates? There is very little likelihood that they're going to raise interest rates after the major slowdown that we saw in the later stages of 2018 in the Canadian economy. We could hear a very different tone from the Bank of Canada following the latest signals on economic growth growing at less than 2% for 2018 and losing momentum coming into the new year, and the weaker than forecast inflation signals of late. We've seen the Canadian dollar drop over the past couple of days following the weak economic signals by more than a cent, hovering today at just 75 cents U.S. From the 680 Newsroom, I'm Mike Eppel for City News.